Last week, Rotom got suspect tested in ZU, and the vote resulted in do not ban. Today I'm here to explain why exactly it was suspected but not banned. I wanted to make this video during the suspect as well as getting voting requirements myself, as I have been promoted to the ZU Council, but exams got in the way and I got busy, but better late than never, so here I am uploading it. Before we get into it, it would really be appreciated if you liked and subscribed to the channel. It only takes a few seconds and it does help out the channel a lot, and it would result in more high quality Pokemon Showdown content in your YouTube feed. Here's a quick overview of what Rotom does in the ZU tier. Rotom has a myriad of different sets it can use, as it has 4 viable movesets. This diversity in sets can make it unpredictable yet easy to slap on teams because it can fill different roles. Utility sets making for a great pivot and hazard removal, Scarf being good speed control, choice spec sets for wall breaking, and nasty plot sets for cleaning. As well as it having free type immunities, which is nice for type coverage. Rotom is currently S rank on the viability rankings, and about a third of the teams in ZUPL had Rotom on them. Now the question is, should Rotom be banned from ZU? Let's look at some arguments about why it should be banned and why it should stay. Offensively, Rotom can be very overwhelming as it can easily get momentum with Volt Switch. Most trending set being Utility, as it uses the combination of Will-O-Wisp and Hex, which can put pressure on even ground types as long as it's used well. With ground types being pressured and possibly forced out to switch because of it, means that Rotom gets to click Volt Switch and generate momentum that way. The utility set is the biggest reason Rotom is getting suspected, as it has the easiest job applying pressure and doesn't have great defensive counterplay, as most mons that can deal with Hex Rotom can get Volt Switched on, which means that with good play and setup, Will-O-Wisp Hex Rotom is incredibly hard to deal with. Or Rhydon, which can block Volt Switch and comfortably take a Shadow Ball from any set, but you get Will-O-Wisp on the switch, which means that your Rhydon is crippled hard for the rest of the game. Of course, in plenty of matchups, you can have a good idea of what your opponent's Rotom set will be, but there's always going to be a risk that you're wrong, or that it's hard to guess without scouting for it. Other sets all have some pretty big strengths too. Choice sets can use Trick to cripple ground types by giving them a generally bad item for them, as well as taking away their leftovers or Evite, which makes making progress easier for Rotom, though it's not a purely advantageous trade for Rotom, as it does lose either speed control or breaking power depending on the choice item it loses. However, while Rotom has that offensive pressure and versatility, it has some very notable flaws. For one, for an offensive mon, it's quite weak and not that fast. Max speed Timid Rotom reaches 309 speed, which is outsped by quite a few offensive mons, which becomes an even bigger problem if you take its awful bulk into account, resulting in Rotom being very easy to revenge kill and force out, as well as it being hard to get in. Your best bet is to switch it on a more passive mon like Articuno or Altaria, which will generally put you in a good position, as your opponent will be forced out to scout for Trick and switch out, meaning you get momentum. You could also try to get it in by using one of its free type immunities, however, those are unlikely to save you as normal, fighting, and ground types all will have coverage to hit Rotom, as well as Kangaskhan having Scrappy and Sog having Mold Breaker Earthquake if it isn't already collecting knockoff. Also, its breaking power is lacking, as Will-O-Wisp's Hex Rotom generally won't break sturdier mons or mons that'll get burned like Rapidash or Ninetales. Other sets run into even bigger problems. Nasty plot sets, like Volt Switch, assuming you run the standard sub-nasty plot set, which isn't threatening without a nasty plot up, and it's very unlikely you get both a nasty plot and a substitute up, which will result in Rotom being easily revenged and thus forced to switch out. Scarf is pretty weak, and the choice Scarf won't save it from getting revenged by priority like Thwacky's Grassy Glide or faster Scarfers like Basculin. If it runs specs, it has pretty good breaking power, but it will also be forced into lock in a move and will be easily revenged as a result, while not being fast unlike Scarf. All of this means that the only unhealthy aspect of Rotom is its ability to generate unmatched momentum. All of this has led the majority of the voters to believe that Rotom isn't unhealthy enough to be banned from the tier, despite its ability to generate momentum. Currently the ZU metagame is in a pretty balanced state and hopefully it will remain that way. That will do it for today. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Peace.